Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reiki and Journey with JJ and Tuta. I'm happy that you guys are here. And if anybody has the question if this will work, if you don't see it live, yes, that's how Reiki and my journeys go. You can always revisit. You can always watch it when it's not live. I like to revisit them myself because when I'm channeling Tuta for the journeys, I'm trying to step out of the way to let it flow. So I usually come back and watch it right after I'm done so I can enjoy it. And then I might even watch it again so I can see all the comments because usually I'm in my own space. So welcome to the new people. Hi, Fatima. Fatima says that they're new. Hi, Fleck. You're a new name as well and flowing. Hi, Annie Bear. Uh, Annie Bear. Annie Bear is an artist. God, I'm gonna cry. Annie Bear is an artist and a writer. She just has this way of tapping into the most beautiful words and poems. It's like a song for my heart. So Annie, if you could post your if they just go to @AnnieBear 7F, will that come up in the YouTube? Just the most beautiful, and they're short, but when I see these little videos of her creations, it stays with me way after the little video is done. They're just so special. So hi everybody and welcome. I really like Reiki because it was my gateway into my spiritual community. It was back when we would do things, with other people in a room, in a circle. And I had these really great teachers in Southern California teach me. And what I really liked about their approach for Reiki is, they teach you, but then you would also get to practice. And I think that's how Reiki is other places. I know my niece learned in Vermont, and she was invited to do healings afterwards so you can practice not only on your friends and your family, but you could also practice on people that you don't know, which is a really great way to learn because you don't know what their story is. So you don't have any you don't have any information about them. So Reiki is it's this Japanese energy healing where you tap into the universal flow. I have that little thing in the corner here that says the life force within us. And I highly recommend when people are on a spiritual path and they want something that maybe can help them. Reiki was a really big step in my spiritual journey. Not only because it was so fun I just thought Reiki was going to take so long to learn. And I put it off years after year after year after year. And then finally I took Reiki 1 and it was so quick and so easy. It wasn't super expensive to take a class. And that's when I started building my spiritual community. Because the people in the class, you would practice on them, you would see them. Hopefully they'd be in the Reiki 2 class, and then so on. What I really liked is Reiki with crystals as well. It's one of the parts of learning Reiki. I think that was a supplemental. I think it was after Reiki 2, and then we learned with using crystals. So I love my crystals. As you can see, that's just a small sample of what I have. And I also love working with guys like this. Just really fun things that I find out in nature, or they find me. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but so yes, thank you for coming. We'll be doing Reiki, and then we're going to be doing, for the new people, I channel Tuta, that means teacher, and it's in a different language. I found out through the the Reiki community that I was in, we would do these healing circles, and we would use psychic abilities, mediumship, plus Reiki. And I learned in these circles, once my language emerged, I learned that it had healing properties. The first person I used it on, the tears were flowing. They had visions of their own, which is so special. I actually like it when I don't get the visions, and the person who is listening with their open heart, they get their own vision, because we are our best teachers, is how I like to think of it. So yeah, my language comes out. It sounds different, and yeah, thank you. Francie said they took it for. Let me put this up here. If you're okay, hopefully you're okay with that. Francie took Reiki years ago to help with migraines. Yes, in the beginning I did it for myself, but then when I took Reiki 2, you get to learn the symbol for, and I feel like you can already do this in your heart as well. You don't have to take a class, but I also love the idea that you get the long distance symbol, which is what I'll be using today. And I recommend, if anybody in this community right now in the chat, or if you're just watching and not being in the chat, or if you're watching this after, no matter, even if it's like a year after, if you feel called to, whatever thing that you like to tap into, whether it's Reiki, whether it's just opening up your heart space, I feel like we can give and receive at the same time. So I welcome anybody to open up their type of energy healing, heart healing, song healing, because then we're working on the collective, and hopefully we're energizing the grid out there, that kind of wraps the planet and beyond. So I like to dream. That's my dream. So I do feel like I got a little bit of a message here that we'll be working. Someone's going to be working or receiving for their nervous system, and then the journey's going to work on possibly some residual fragments of some healing that they have been doing, but sometimes there's like little pieces, sharp particles left over, like these little fragments. So that's what we're going to do, that I know of. But then spirit kind of takes over. Okay, so this is a really good question, Dawn. Hi, cute picture. How do you know that you are healing? Questioning. Yeah. Oh God, I question myself too. This is a really great question. Okay, so it's different for everybody, but I can just share my story with you, is that I know I would go out, if this is my specific story with Reiki. I learned the symbol, and then I went and laid outside, and I called in the universal flow and whatnot. And with Reiki, or, this is just an example. If you're outside and everybody can tap into this for whatever it's called, Reiki or whatever, you can rub your palms together like this. You can go like that. It's just kind of like a warm up. And then you can feel like your hands vibrating, and you can practice, just seeing if you can feel some energy. And if you can't, and it goes like that, that's okay. It's just practice. And it should be done with like a playful attitude, I find. And so you just keep doing that and see if you can find this ball of light, a ball of energy. And if it's still just, you can't feel anything, just keep practicing. Try not to get frustrated with it. And so I would go outside and I would lay down. And in Reiki, they tell you these different hand positions for yourself, for self Reiki. But just use your own intuition. And if nothing is coming to you, Don't get discouraged, because you could always go to your heart space and just put your hands on your heart space. And how I know it was working is because I had my hands where I needed the healing. I closed my eyes. I'm not that great at meditation myself. And, I get really distracted by this or that. And I just went into this nice calm space, and I knew it didn't have to be for a really long time, for us people who get distracted easily. And you can just do this practice of where you just do it for a few minutes. I liked doing it in the sun or in the shade, laying down. And you just focus on yourself, and how beautiful to just focus on yourself. So I also had some good feedback too, because when I would do the long distance stuff, I would do it on somebody I knew, and I would text them and say, I'm starting now, and I would let them know when I was finished, and then they would let me know if they either felt relaxed, and again, it's a practice, just like all of the spiritual stuff. And but I like it because, again, I know this is a journey and it's a meditation type thing, but I have a really hard time staying still, that sort of thing. So that's why I like these little shorts. Like if I'm in the shower and I'm thinking of somebody who's sick, like I really like being in water. So I'll be in the shower and I'll just hold somebody like right here in my heart space, not inside my actual body, but right outside my heart space. And that's what I there's all sorts of little practices you can do, and question yourself, but just try not to get too frustrated, because love is love, and I just feel like, do you know when you're with somebody and you're just like, oh, I'm just sending them this like radiating love, and that's a healing. You're thinking about somebody and you're smiling, that's a healing. It's really simple, and my heart's going a little crazy right now. Yeah, it's just a beautiful way to start. So before we get going, because at the end, I'm going to like, if anybody is not in La La Land and they want to share their experience, we can definitely do that in the chat. You can add it to when this is over. You can always email me. I have this little banner here where you can get, sometimes people will send me at tutaspeaks@gmail. They'll send me, what it is that they experienced. I love that. But you can also say, hey, I didn't experience anything. And that would happen to me. Like sometimes in Reiki class, people were like, oh, I saw this and that. And then I'm just like sitting there like, oh my God, I'm not doing this right. But then I found out that there's this place of nothing, this void. And then I found out it was one of my favorite places to be in. So yeah. Oh my gosh, Jay. Hi. Hello. I haven't seen you in such a long time. So yeah. So yeah, my announcements are, I made it easier to schedule private sessions. Thank you, Viviani. Before there was like emails back and forth, and I would only be able to talk to like one person until they picked a time. And so if you go to my website, tutaspeaks.com, you can schedule it yourself. Credit cards are accepted, and it's $55. I went up in price from $48 just because there are some fees involved. And I just kind of wanted to, my bank account, I wanted to balance it out a little bit. So yeah, it is $55 for 1 hour. It's recorded. So that is that. Oh, and I wanted to do something new for you guys. For the people who they show up, and even if it's, a little bit later, go ahead, because okay, this is one thing. When I have like a burning question and I go to like the mini reads and it doesn't get chosen, I'm like, why couldn't I get a message? This is something new I'm going to be doing. After this is all done and there's no more live, go to this video and put your question in. And I'm going to off screen collect those. I'll record myself with like the findings that I have. And then that way, some people who get passed over, you guys will get hopefully a little something of what you need. So does that make sense? I just wanted to be fair for people. And I know how important it is for those of us who have this question. You may not have the extra money to get some insight, and a lot of people get passed over, especially when there's more than one reader doing the mini readings, because there's like a lucky I don't even know, guys, how many people actually get read. When I do my mini readings, which is on Tuesday, tomorrow, Tuesdays with Tuta, I'll stay on for like 2 hours, and I'll try to get to the people who show up. But then there's always going to be people who are off the list. And man, I love it when I get chosen. So you're all chosen, even if it takes me like a couple weeks to get to everybody. So those will just be like a pre-recorded thing. Okay. So that's that. Let's get on with it. Thank you for people who are listening in their car. I saw somebody was at work. And I do something special with my clients. I'm starting it right now. I know there's some people in here, but I don't have your permission to say. I know that Annie already said you had a session with me. So I just say their names here. So there's Annie. And if I've done a session with you before, you can go ahead and say so. So Annie, I'm just adding you to my heart space and thanking you for trusting me, for tapping in. There's Candace tapping in. It's really special when somebody trusts you with a session. Whew. And Richie. Thank you for trusting me then, and thank you everybody for trusting me now. One thing that's really special is you can, if you have a family member that, or a friend or somebody you know, or even like a community. I know that there is a lot of flooding in Vermont right now, Suzanne and Wayne, where I grew up. The rivers have risen so high, and I feel like they have a lot of past trauma with Irene that came through, where people were just stranded. And it feels like, I don't know if this is going to be as bad as Irene. So for people out there that are going through the natural disasters, disaster may not be the right word, I'm not sure. You can hold them in your heart space. Okay, so let's get going. Enough chit chat. So take a deep breath in. Release your day. Deep breath in. Release your day. Release your year, they're saying. You get to be here right now for yourself. Honor that and give yourself this time. Patu kitanaka. How special. Kutanu mashtitala, let the sun shine on you. Katutanu shita. They're showing me the toad, how the toad, can be in the sun when it wants to on its lily pad. To see how beautiful the skin of the toad is. And they sit on the lily pad. Just being by themselves, relaxing, their belly's already full. Panuma katana este tanui katana yim pau nuita. Ato este tano etana maka este tai. Pamawe ta este tanui aye. Ano na ta este ta waka este tanaye wa. Amea wa patwe eneste tanuika uta este ta. Huinama utanama utatana ushtatana tanuka ushtatayewa. Ayena, opening up the pathway to the universal life force within us, around us, through us. Aita, iya. Mauaita, ye. Yenama kutana ishtitanuina itamawakayewa. Calling on healing for ourselves. Pa itumash tutui tanumama kyotsiteshewa. Yena tanushtita ye tana yewa. Starting at the top of your head and relaxing your muscles. Aye. Amomo koto tanu. Ashta tanu inama eta. Ano tanu kashtita. What if we could cut off some of those cords, those umbilical cords? Titano tano umbilical cord. Like atu tano shtita yewa na yewa for the things that drain us. Ama tono shtita from the beginning of our time to right now. Tatotoshtita, we can always choose to feed our energy wherever it is, that you want. But for right now, since we're focusing on you, giving permission, if it's appropriate at this time for you, for your highest good. Tawina. We'll just let go of those cords. Putting the crown of light on us. And it fits perfectly. And when we put this crown of light, we feel the remembering. Remembering that we are the treasures. That we're worth it. Trying so hard. Today is rest. To sit with this crown of light. Sitting in your favorite place in nature, whether it's the forest, the beach, by the lake, the reflective lake, the pond, the river, seeing yourself in your special place. This place that charges you up, this place in nature that listens to your heartbeat. Kukana yewa. Payena yewa totanoshita. Panuma papapayema noi namashtita yewa. Sitting in this beautiful space. Smelling the things around you. feeling if it's day, feeling if it's night. Hearing the sounds around you. Kamaui. Are there birds? Are there frogs? Is there wind, rain? Paui. And placing your hands on the ground, tutanui na tanashtita, where you are in this special place. Seeing if we can tap into or ask for the life force, anui na tanashtita, to present itself, itanui na ashtita, flowing through us like a river, a slow river. Amau totau ushtita yewa. Yena maka ushtita, and they're saying, child, tatano ashtitano ma yiwa. Yena tanushtita. Everybody has their own way. Ko tanushtita, tano tanushtita yiwa. It's simple to like learn from others and try to do what they're doing. Kato tanushtita, but you have to do it your way. Pano tanuka yiwa. Your true authentic self. Yata nana tanushtita yiwa. Yena tanushtita yewa, calling in the life force, the universal energy. Tutano tanushtita iana, working on this gateway into the heart. Stretching the muscles. Today we can open up the heart as much as we feel like. And then if this is for protection, to close the heart during certain times, when we're done, we can do that. But let's see if we can open up the heart space. The heart feels so much. Those stories in the past, possibly the present. Calling in the people that might have passed in this lifetime, or whenever. If it's somebody who was in your heart so deeply, and did they step out of the physical? Let's call those people in now. Ask them to put their hands on our shoulders. Maybe send some energy with a forehead kiss, forehead to forehead. Opening the heart. This beautiful muscle. Connecting the crown of light with the heart space. Remember, Altuita uetwa tana ishema wita yeta mawishiwa. Ina tanu kashtita. And they're showing me when Patutanoma ushtitano kayewa, they're showing me sand, payita, and they're opening up these channels so that the sand can go back down to the ground, as if we hold these little things in our heart space. Aye tanoshtita, and they're saying, child, tutano ashtitayewa. Let's open up paltutano ushtita and let the sand go back to where it needs to go. Ko ashtitanayewa. So it can become a mountain again. Ayewa, it can go on its own little journey. Those little fragments, patutano ukata ushtita, from the beginning of our time to right now. Patutano ushtita, and releasing the things doesn't mean it's just gone forever. It's just that it's moving from the heart space. It's moving from our energetic body. Kotana ushtita yewa. Anotana ushtita. You can always pick it up. Right now, we're just releasing. Koi, tana, ushtita, calling in the birds. Tita, yewa. What does your bird look like? They're coming in to take those little fragments too. Katatono ushtita, the little residuals. Tatono ushtita yewa. Yena tanoshita yema utanata ishtita no kayewa. Coming in with their beaks. Eta, 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 eta. Eta mai namashtita yema yewa. The birds are working as a team. They're taking away those little things happily with great joy. They're bringing them to where they belong. And they say, thank you for holding on to this. It must have been important, whether it was good or bad. If you were holding on to it, there must be something that was important. And now it's okay to let that go. Good job. Pano pa tana kya she katana eshtita. Yena tanoshtita. And even though the birds are picking these up, some of them have great weight. Atutano kayewa. But they get lighter once we make the decision to let the birds take them. Pakotana eshtita. And the birds are so happy that they're returning with these little gifts, these things from nature, these things from our loved ones, our ancestors, our guides, and they're bringing in the things to make this beautiful nest. Uki tana shtita in our heart space. Eta, eta, maetawi. And the crown of light, atu tano shtita, says, help make me brighter so I can go in and make sure all the fragments, and if there were any little or big patu tano shtita wounds, pa'u tano shtita, we're going to bring in the light to tutanoshita. They're using the word cauterize these wounds. Paui, so there's no infection. Panui tamaye. Ooh, kaye. Mae. Thank you for letting the tears drop. Aye, my, ye, na, ye. And they say, there now, child. Anko shina. There now, child. Thank you for opening as much. Tano tanoshita. It was just right. Una tanaka. Tanokai shtita. Yeta maui tai she yetaui. Tanoi she yawai. They're putting a piece of paper. Panotan, they're presenting you with a piece of paper. And they said, this is for the new story, the new writing. And it's okay for it to be blank for a little bit if you don't know the new story. But they recommend going towards the nature, the trees, the water, a place where you can be present with just yourself. Be distracted by nature. There's so many lessons there. And they say, you have the beautiful nest, the walls of your heart, are ready for a new story. And I see our ancestors, our loved ones who have stepped out of the physical. They wanted me to say they stepped out of the past to come here. Oh, I see your little one, your inner child. Your inner child, and the others are writing little messages, and they're wrapping them up so carefully. They're tucking it into this nest. They say, with love, and it gives me great joy. And these beautiful little love letters. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. and feeling the people around us or the energy. Tanokai, taking a moment with them. Paina, our guides, our angels. Yena tanamaui. Panui tanamai. Ushtitanaye. Ushtitanaye. Ushtitanaye tanaukai tauai tauai. Taukanai tatanaye ukai. Ato tanui na tanu ushti tanu kaiwa mayewa yewa. Checking in with the rest of our physical body, our emotional, our mental, our spiritual. Oh, kuinashtita. Thinking about people who might be having some belly issues. Now that we're still in this beautiful space of healing, just seeing us standing shoulder to shoulder with the spiritual community, the collective who is here now or will be coming later, shoulder to shoulder. With our beautiful crowns of light. My bearded dragon is going crazy. Shoulder to shoulder. And now that we've done this beautiful self-healing, let's see if we can direct this light to the center of the circle. And asking for the life force, the universal life, to come in with hope, love, healing, understanding, for us, for them. And seeing this beautiful pillar of light in the middle of our circle. And seeing it growing wider and wider as it passes through us, with us, behind us, going out into past our walls of our house, past our cars, going to the neighbors, and beyond. Anu tanu shti tanu e ka nu shti ta yewa ye tanu ta ushti tanu ka ishti tana yewa makuka. Beautiful. Tutanu ushti tanu ka yewa ye tanu ka ushti ta ina yewa. Thank you for lighting the flame. Paui ye na taui tanama yewa. And seeing our guides back up, giving our loved ones one last squeeze as they back up. If any animals came, letting them know that everyone that you're grateful and you hope they get the nourishment that they need as well. And as we see them step back, pa'otano pa'okaiwa, yena tanoshtata. We wiggle our fingers and we wiggle our toes. Put our hands on our heart space or wherever it is that you might need some extra love. And just tap that area. Just know that you're coming back from this beautiful journey, this beautiful collective time together, and that you're alive, calling our full selves back, full selves right back into our bodies. Even if we're sharing some of that energy at different lifetimes, different wherever we're sharing it, if it's appropriate at this time, calling all of us back. And they're sharing right before I step out of this, they're sharing that some of the things that are coming back, they're under They're under lock. And when I see the lock, I see that it's old, but it's something necessary, just to think about until just think about yourself. You don't need my people to help you unlock this. You can unlock it yourself when the time is right. There's a reason why it's locked up right now. And the hummingbird says that the key will appear when it's needed. And something that we can do right now is visualize the lock. Whenever you think about this, visualize the lock and visualize like the preparing the lock to open. Like what is it that you could do? Spiritual WD-40 is one of my favorite things to use. Those sorts of things. So that's just a little bit of knowing what's coming up for you, is that there will be something in a good way. I would like to thank Ink, the bearded dragon, for being a part of this healing. You were going crazy, my friend. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome back. Hello, everybody. Look at all these friends. Hi. Aw. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Got such a beautiful, like, energetic, it's not even a high. I feel like I'm ginger ale. I'm all like bubbly and sweet. Oh my gosh. Desert Dawn, thank you. The grandmother songs are always so healing to the soul. It was emotional for me too. Technically, the bearded dragon is, you can even see it right there. Ooh, there's my finger. His name is Ink. He's a special, like, white dragon. It's my kiddo's Finn. And you feel lightheaded, Fatima? Yes. Warrior girl. So Fatima, that is one thing that can happen. You get like that effervescent, not quite back on earth, floaty feeling. Let me see. You guys know what weighted blankets are? So they're giving us, for the people who are lightheaded, dizzy, they are giving us a cape. They're putting a cape on those people with a weighted blanket that says, here's a little bit of extra help until it settles. Oh, I love it when they come in with a crown of light. That's something they've been doing that's new. I haven't done a full journey in the language in a while for myself or for others. So this was really good. Yes, Mimi. So important. Thank you for all who participated, known and unknown. Yep, the spiritual WD-40 is a real thing, Core. A vibrating aura. Yes. I feel like Warrior Girl, like wherever you go today, like, yeah. Look at him. Wherever you go today, you're going to like help people around you. Just energetically. All the birds stopped to hear your song. I'm so glad that you're here, Leah. Flowing had tears. Yes. I'm going to re-listen to this, and I was already starting to tear up, so I know more need to come out. Bernie Girl says, I saw an orange yellow visual and believe I saw Mary with her praying hands. Oh, lovely. Definitely tingling, says 50 Shades of Purple against bullying. Oh, yes. Oh, how amazing. How amazing. Thought I was being covered by a patchwork quilt, but instead it was a patchwork tent. Do you remember when we used to make the forts, the tents in our houses? How fun that was. Richie, this is something that happened with my husband when he went on a retreat, and this is not his type of thing. But he also, like you said, that you saw yourself as an eagle through the eyes of an eagle. And I love it when the winged ones come in and help with that, guide us. And see how different everybody's, just how everybody has their own special individual experience. And that's what they're telling us. Like, you don't have to be like, why am I not more like my spiritual experience isn't more like theirs. I find myself doing that, and like, why am I this way when I want to be like that way? And yeah. Thank you, Arlene. Arlene says they love the sound of tuta. I do too. Yeah, I love it when they come through the songs too. Warrior Girl, my body is actually shaking along with, the vibration. Yeah, there's something to that shaking. I can't remember who just said that recently, but yeah, to like shake yourself out. Very emotional. Thank you, Michelle, for opening up. And again, if you're not alone, we have this beautiful community. And I'll put this is my email right here, tutaspeaks@gmail.com. If you're not alone, like if you're having a hard time coming back from these journeys, please reach out. Because I've been in a place before where like weird things would happen after something like this, and I needed a little bit of extra help, and I didn't know where to go. So yeah. Spirit Tribe Talks with Deborah has an owl. Ooh. When we stood shoulder to shoulder to send out the healing energy, I was still as eagle and screamed out as an eagle twice. Ooh! Oh, the resonance from that. That's what Michael Tellinger was talking about. He did the videos and he was talking about resonance and how like that vibration can just travel. So thank you for tapping into that. Yes, drink water. Annie Bear, thank you. Take care of yourselves. Just take care of yourselves. You remember we did that big opening. Sometimes it's not appropriate to stay in this space that we did together. It's okay to like, close that down a little, not close, but you know what I mean? You have this opportunity of movement. So wherever your movement needs to go, you can go there. So yeah. Ink is going nuts. Yeah, drink water. Put your, walk around with your bare feet, outside, inside. Put your hands on the ground even and just call in for balance. Our people are always there helping us. So. Yeah. That's beautiful, Bernie. Well, praying beside my mom's hospital bed, I fell asleep praying to let my mom eat. I did not ask for a cure, but understood it was her time. Was told in a dream to put hands on mom waking. I did, and she ate. Yeah. That's another thing about the energy work. I feel like, and with Reiki too, it goes where it needs to go. And it's okay to like not just like giving ourselves a little bit of a break. It's like we're not supposed to take on other people's stories. It's like I wore a hat yesterday that said "not my problem," and it wasn't to like trigger anybody, but it's like a reminder when I see myself that I can go ahead and open my heart space to them, but I don't need to take on their story. I can't take on their problems because it's not appropriate for me to do that. And I think that's really difficult. Like when I'm thinking about when my children, if they're not doing well, if my loved ones aren't doing well, if I have a friend that's struggling, it's one of those things where, just like what you were saying, that you can be a witness, you can give them support, but we're not supposed to take on other people's stories. Leah and the moth. Leah, were you the one that put the question into? Were you the one that put the question in about the moth yesterday? Oh yeah, there it is, right there. Yep. Yesterday, a hummingbird moth crawled out of the ground and I was watering. Was it trying to help me? So yeah, share what you feel about that, people. Leah does need to know Annie. It was a moth that loves nectar, has a long tongue, which it feeds from their nocturnal. So when things come up like this, guys, the thing that I would recommend is, which I'm sure you already did, Leah, is just to, show gratitude for them from the emerging. So what they're showing me is that somebody is digging a hole, and they said there's a time to dig a hole and there's a time not to dig a hole. So the emergence of this animal was their time. So if you tap into the wonderment and the hope of something emerging, to taste that beautiful nectar. If you let the intuition and put the mental self aside, they say, see what happens. And they're showing me the peacock feathers on the back of the peacock. Again, there's a time when the feathers are down, and then there's a time when they're fully exposed. And I know some of these messages always have like an extra layer of like, well, what did that mean? I totally get that. That's just how it is. Yes, this is really good. Not my circus and not my monkeys. I love that. Thank you, Melissa. It's good to see you. Okay, everybody. If you were coming in a little bit later, I just want to let you know that doing something new. If when this is over, you come back and you can do the comments below. Go ahead and put something in there that if you've been asking some questions, or if you have new questions that maybe some of the readers we didn't have time to get to, go ahead and put some questions in there, and I will do some. I'll do a recording of what I pick up, just so that you guys, if I know what it's like to have a question that doesn't get chosen. So I'm going to do that. You guys put your questions down there. I'll do and not a live type thing. It's just where I'm going to tap in, and then I'll share a video, and you guys can come in and see that. That way you get a little bit of attention. Not attention, but the crown of light will be shining its light on your question. I feel like this community knows that. So again, if you're having a hard time coming back from this, go out to nature, ask nature for help, ask anybody in this community for help. You can email me at Tuta Speaks, just for grounding. Kota no tono shtita, for coming back. Holding you guys in my heart space. Tomorrow we have Tuesday with Tuta, which Leah helped me name. I think somebody else had said it too, but Tuesdays with Tuta. So you can always reach out with questions over there. That one is a first come, first serve. There, you will be put on the list in the order that they're received, but don't put your question on before we go live. That's kind of like cutting the line. So don't put your question on until we go live. That's all I ask. So it's, so holding you in my heart space, thanking Ink, the bearded dragon, for making all of the background noises for us today. See you Tuesday.